Hello everyone and welcome to another 3D Ultra Lionel Traintown video. We're on the tutorial jobs at this point. Today we're going to be doing the Train Park Oak Valley line here. Now, if many of you are familiar with the Wheeling and Lake Erie Railroad, which is a regional railroad up in northeast Ohio, most of the equipment they ship out is steel, coal, and chemicals. What I'm going to be doing for this layout is I'm going to be using two trains. One well, first things first, the train parks you see here are all free play layouts. So you can operate the trains as long as you want. You can deliver and pick up loads as long as you want. What I'm doing for this session is I'm going to be having two trains, one train with just two tankers and an ore car with all the deliveries on one side of the river. There's going to be a bascule bridge in this session. So anyways, let's hop to it. So as you can see here, we have one locomotive with an entire train consist. Now you notice our tanker car, we got a tanker car at the back end. We have our caboose and a few freight cars. We have a concrete plan where the concrete company will take old statues or products made of concrete and make it into something else. Down here we have another train with a consolidation steam locomotive, but as you notice here, now as I mentioned, the green icons would represent loads that need to be delivered. The red ones describe loads that need to be dropped off. Most of the oil loads and deliveries are taking place on this side of the map, as enclosed right here. You have a river dividing with two bascule bridges, as I described a little bit earlier. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to sort some cars out. I'm going to have the diesel locomotive assigned to pull the two tanker cars and a hopper car. We're also going to set off a few cars that we don't need onto this track down here on this little loop. So let's get hopping to it. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to program this train. I'm going to set them go forward. I'm going to set up this map up here. I'm going to set up a backwards flag. I'm going to put a red stop flag up here. Take a good eye on our other train. Make sure he gets across before the duck boat gets through. I'm going to program this train. So first things first, going to go forward. Detach the caboose first. As you can see on your the right hand bottom corner of your screen, you got a construction site and stuff being moved around. Check back here to check on the steam train, make sure everything's okay. And theoretically, you can move the two trains at the same time. A lot of players who play Lionel Traintown might not have known this, but there are some good secrets to playing this game. Again, this is like a mix between being a train master or switchman, fireman, brakeman, engineer, or even conductor. So what I'm going to do first is detach the hopper car. I'm going to set it onto this team track here. I'm going to go about, maybe about 8 or 9 cars left. 9 cars west here. So you can see this steam train is stopped because I already set a red flag. I'm going to set it about down here, that way we can clear the track for the steam train. Next thing I'm going to do is uncouple this car. Take the diesel train east for about 7-8 cars. And then I'm going to couple up to this end of the train right here. This is an SW1500 locomotive pulling the train with Union Pacific livery. Now these first two cars that I'm going to be using right behind the diesel locomotive, I'm going to spot them off on this team track down here because these will be cars that we don't need necessarily. Throw the switch here. Going to back down for about nearly half a car. Couple up to this consist here. We'll slow down, stop the train. We won't have to worry about trying to hook up the air hose. Going to move the train up for about 5 car lanes. Make sure we have enough car lanes between me and the other train down here. we'll go from there. Again, I'm going to keep it on the low setting because it's a more realistic speed than trying to speed it up at like how most people would operate model trains. I'm going to keep it kind of on the slow, simple setting. So I got about 4 cars, 3 cars, 2 cars, 1 car. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to detach the log car from the back end of this train. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to send it down to this track, then put the concrete car, the flat car, and the gondola car coupled up to the caboose. Because what I'm going to be doing is backing that in with my other train to pick up the concrete or drop off any statues that need to be delivered. Another thing to notice too, you see how squiggly the track looks? It's kind of an awkward spot, and this would be a track that I would use to store maintenance of way equipment, since a lot of large equipment can't get around big, large curves like that. So, gonna move the train up for about, let's see, about 7 car lengths. And we'll couple up down there, and I'll get the car sorted out for the steam locomotive to take. Okay, so I just put the flat car into this siding, so I'm going to program this train to couple up down to the caboose, and while that's going on, I'm going to take this steam train right up here, and I'm going to couple it into this car right down here. I'm going to program this train for a split second. I'm going to shove it down a few more feet to clear the switch. Let the steam train come down and couple up one of the box cars to the train consist here, because I'm going to take all 3 of these cars, actually only a few of them, and then I'm going to take the steam locomotive. I'm going to connect that consist up down to the one the diesel locomotive is going to take. Put a reverse flank here, put a stop down here. Don't need that flag there. Move the engine up for about 4 or 5 car lengths east. This train stopped down here. So let's see what I'm going to do next. I'm going to take this consist, couple it up. To throw this switch. Next, I'm going to take the locomotive, go east, and then I'm going to connect it up to this train and arrange it as quick as I can. I'm back up about 2 more car lengths, 2 more car lengths west. to the edge of this curve here. And this will be good to spot this train here. I'm going to take the locomotive, going to go east. Put a flag there for the diesel train. And in a little bit, the diesel train's going to come and couple up to this consist. And see, just like that, I have all my consists planned out. Pull the steam train up just a little bit to cut some slack on the cars. Then I'm going to cut a little bit of slack on the diesel-powered train. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to plan our route accordingly. So as you can see, we have a big long track here. If you look at the map closely, our steam train, which has the longest consist, is seen up here. We're going to use that to go along the map line here, across the bridge here, being on the lookout for the duck boat. We apparently have some logs that we need to deliver. We also have some iron ore that needs delivery as well. So it's going to be a matter of trying to get the diesel train to be turned around properly, because we have iron ore which is delivered on this side of the map, which needs to be delivered down here over to where the iron ore and coal barge is located. That's the bascule bridge going. Got a little rubber duck going through. I always call it a duck boat. And there is a CSX train just going by my apartment. Now with the diesel train, I'm going to program this one down to this track. We're going to go down past the refinery. I'll throw the switch here. Go up here as soon as the steam train clears. Stop, back up, pick up the coal load. And then eventually I'm going to take it and drop it off down here. So first things first, we're going to take the diesel train and we're going to spot those 4 cars off down at the team track that I have programmed and ready. Deliver the oil over to here, drop it off, then go back up, deliver the oil. Then pick up another oil, then properly take the diesel train up here, back down the switch up to the coal mine, go back down the switch, then take this switch down through the curve, and then eventually ending up back over here at the coal dock. So stay tuned for the next clip, which I will attempt. So right now, as you can see, the diesel locomotive is heading down the track. While I was speaking, I was using that time to plan my routes accordingly, and it's also the time when crews are getting ready to hook up the air hoses, test their air and brakes before taking off. Right now, the steam train is being tied down until it's needed. So right now my job is to keep an eye on the diesel train and to make sure it gets across without causing a delay with the bascule bridge. As far as I can tell, the train's going pretty well. As soon as the diesel train's across, I'll program the steam train to head on its way down there. I'll throw the switch up here. Switch is good. All I got to do is throw that switch so I can set off the first 4 cars on my train consist. So my diesel train will be serving as the oil train, shuttle, and iron ore service. There's actually a hotkey to programming your locomotives without having to click on them. Press the letter P, watch what happens. You can program the steam engine, get it ready to go. Speaking of which, I gotta program my diesel train, get it across before the duck does. And that was a close one. Now I'll take a good look at my steam engine up here. Keep an eye on the diesel train, making sure we're in proper running order, because sometimes the locomotives can be geared differently based on their speed and their agility. So as soon as the diesel train clears here, We're going to throw the switch here so the steam locomotive can go up the track to pick up the logs. The joy of being an engineer, a fireman, brakeman, switchman, yardmaster, dispatcher, and conductor, all combined into one, thanks to 3D Ultra Lionel Traintown. So you can see our steam train is going well. We're going to stop the train before the bridge because we have a dock crossing. Keep an eye on our diesel train. I'm going to place a reverse flag up here. And then I'm going to actually take that back. I'm going to put the flag over here because we're going to take the first 4 cars and put them into the team track right next to the oil refinery. Right now I'm going to keep an eye on the steam train, and we've successfully cleared the bridge. The steam train is now heading up to pick up the logs over at the log mill. We're going to take the loop track, kind of loop around. And then eventually what I want to do is go up the track here, loop around, and loop up around this way to make sure we're facing the proper direction when putting the train away for the night. Yeah, we'll finish that. Got to keep an eye on the diesel train. Going to put a flag here to stop. Actually, take a look at the steam train for a minute. Stop and load our logs here. I'll go back down and adjust this train for a second. Right now, get this train programmed, ready to go. I'm going to put the blue flag at the other end of this curve here. So now we successfully tied down these cars that we don't need. Gonna close off the air brake handle on the diesel locomotive. Right now I gotta focus on this train. Gonna stop here, drop off the logs. It's likely that we'll get some chopped lumber. Let's see what new delivery have. Oh, see, twice the amount of oil that we need. So see, with the benefit of having 2 trains, you don't have to go all over the map with one engine and use up all of your fuel. So whenever there's a train you don't need, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the steam train. I'm going to take it across the bridge. Going to stop it here a little bit short because the lights are going to change. You want to make sure you have good estimated time. Right now the diesel train is going to connect up the air hoses, charge the brake handles. Right now, let's watch the bascule bridge operate. Here goes. And then we're going to take the steam train, take it to this curve, stop the train here, and tie it down until we need it. So right now, this operation kind of mirrors the wheeling in Lake Erie. As a regional railroad, we have local freight trains passing through, sometimes through freights, or even small industrial train operations, where you go a short distance, you don't have to go too far, and then you can even interchange with the big main line up here. So you come to think of it, it's like a virtual model of a regional industrial railroad. I'm going to take the steam train, take a close look at it. I'm going to press P to program this train. I'm going to stop it right here and tie it down until we need it. In the meantime, most of the switching is going to be taking place on this side of the river. So while this side of the river isn't getting much deliveries and loads, all the deliveries here are going to be done using the diesel train. So let's watch some switching in action here on 3D Ultra Lionel Traintown. Right now we're going to drop off the oil here at the oil refinery. We're going to take the northwest track up to the...
You have a new delivery.
Looks like we got an extra delivery of coal that's going to be needed down here at the... what do they call it? The coal pier. So there's actually another railroad that deals with iron ore, known as the Lake Superior and Ishpeming Railroad. It runs in northern Michigan. So right now I'm going to take the train, going to go up this track here, throw the switch back up down to the coal dock. There's actually a small power plant over here. You could have a small shuttle train take coal from the power plant and take it over here, or you could simply have it shipped by truck. But with the benefit of a train, you're able to use less gas mileage than a truck. You're able to save more money and fuel costs than running a truck. And then with a train, you can go farther distances and carry large loads. It's all about the money when it comes to it. I've got to get at least 3-4 car lengths east of the switch, then we'll back down, pick up the coal, we'll go down here to this track, and have this train properly aligned to drop off the coal down at the coal pier. So right now, we're going to have a brakeman on the back end of this train, because with the other train we have a caboose, so we don't really need a brakeman on the back end. Give our 1, 2, 3. We can assume that the switches will be automated, so that way the locomotive engineer will be able to stop, notch up his throttle while it's in reverse with the engine brake applied, release, and then take off quickly, just to save the amount of time needed to get the job done. Pretty neat seeing an SW1500 with 2 tankers and a coal car. Coal's going to be delivered. We may have to take 2 trips back and forth to get the coal delivered. Right now, we're going to move forward, take this track here, throw the switch back down, drop off the first oil load here at the refinery. We may need to get the other train up and running because on one of our car consists we have a flat car. So we might drop off the oil, and then all of a sudden we'll have some steel available for pickup, so then we'll program the other train to untie down from that location, and then head up the main track to deliver the train. Then we'll properly coordinate the train to put the locomotives away for the night. I might not go too far in my video, so let's move on. In addition to using the controls here, if you move your cursor to the right or left of a car or locomotive, you can stop it. I'm going to program the switch. And we'll back down over to the oil refinery. Programmed and ready for the other train. Let's see if we get any steel needed.
You have a new delivery.
Got another oil delivery, and while I'm thinking about it too, let's see. Yep, it's going to need 2 oil deliveries. I'll throw the switch up here. Going to back up to the oil refinery, stop, back down, then head on down to the oil pier. Actually, to the coal pier. Coal and iron ore, that's what I meant. Got to get it right. Now we'll head on forward, back down to the switch, and go down to the coal and iron ore pier. Two cars, one car, clear the switch, and that will do. We'll blow our horn to let the crews know that we're pulling in and know that the train's coming in place. Scott will stop our 2 tank cars into the loading zone. There's going to be more deliveries to load. And looks like it's more deliveries for this side of the river here. So to end this video, I'm going to drop off the coal at the pier here. Backup signal to announce that we're backing up, then blow the horn again to let us know that we're entering the pier or the loading dock. Stop the train here, and boom, just like that. Coal is delivered.
A new load is available. You have a new delivery.
I'm going to pull the train up here, and I'm going to stop it here for now. Sometimes this game will go on random mode. Sometimes it'll have me program the other train to pick up other loads and deliveries. But with the benefit of having 2 trains, it helps get the job done quicker instead of having to go full throttle on your control bar and then trying to go all over the map getting the jobs done. You treat it more realistically like a full-size railroad, similar to the wheeling in Lake Erie, or whether it's a iron ore service like the Lake Superior and Ishpeming here. Lionel Traintown is the place wherever you want to be a railroad dispatcher, conductor, engineer, fireman, brakeman, or whatsoever. So that's where I'm going to end my video for now. Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for more Lionel Traintown 3D train videos coming soon in the future. This is your Railroad Operator Steampunk 1993 signing out. Tower 93 out.